Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody is having a great Monday. I'm having a great Monday. I didn't have to work today. That might be a coming theme of Mondays, or it might not, because I have so many different potential moving parts and pieces of my life right now that I could be telling you guys in a couple of weeks that it's back to the grind, or I could be telling you that I figured something else out that's totally different. And that type of grind will not exist for me anymore. But we'll see. I'm just being optimistic at the current moment. This is something I rarely do nowadays, which is just a real impromptu live. The reason why it's impromptu is because I actually started this on Instagram and I started speaking on Instagram. I was on there, I spoke for about 10 minutes, and then I was like, what am I doing this on Instagram for when my primary supporters are right here on YouTube? So I actually just cut off that live. I did not even save it to repost it because I'm just going to redo it. As somebody once told me, the truth is the truth. You don't have to think about it twice. So that's where I'm going with this. Most of you, or maybe not most of you, some of you will recall at the beginning of the Big Brother season this year, I mentioned that depending on a lot of different factors, one of them being the success or lack of success, depending on how it went, of my coverage for the Big Brother season, I would stay and continue to do reality TV coverage or I would not. I told y'all at the end of the Big Brother season that it was promising enough for me to continue to do that coverage. So this is not an announcement to say that I am right now going to stop doing that. Hey Lisa, hey Debbie. How is the sound, by the way? Because this is connected with my phone and I am using my new external mic, hoping that that sounds better than the normal sound that I have with my phone. Anyways, that's a side note. But one of the things that I have been thinking about is, trust me, I love my shows. I do love watching my shows, talking about my shows. But if you have seen a little bit of a transition from me talking less about the shows and more about mental health, it's because that is what my page was for originally. Music and mental health is just like what it sounds. It was a page that was created because music is a big part of my sanity, my peace, and I do mental health counseling for a living. So that's the reason why I originally started that page. The mindful reality page separation is so that I have a page that I can specifically just talk about reality TV. So that, I mean, some people follow both, but there's some people that really just want to see my coverage of the shows, and that's fine. But I did say at the beginning of the Big Brother season that there's no other time of year where I'm going to be more heavy into that page than when Big Brother is on, because of the kind of commitment covering Big Brother is, and I'm dedicated to, really am. I'm dedicated to 3 months out of every year, spending every waking moment sacrificing my sleep and my sanity to cover these people and the crazy things they say and they do in the house. But that's the only time period. I'm still covering other shows, like I was telling you guys, but my purpose, my original purpose, was never this. This was just something that I happened to find, that I found that parallels some of the original things that I've wanted to do. I found a different lane within the reality TV platform. I found a different lane somehow because I remember last year when I was like, let me just cover Big Brother just because people seem to be interested in listening to me talk about it. People started speaking to me about their depression, and they started speaking to me about their anxiety. They started talking about sick family members that they were caring for. They started speaking about all the different things that people generally speak to me about in life. They're typing that in my chat. And I said, it's no mistake or accident that even speaking on something that generally has nothing to do with all these things, just I find the same type of audience as what I find elsewhere. Let's see. Hi, Dite. Sound seems good. It's cool. Hello, Joan. Hello, Miss Napkid. So if you have seen me advertising my mental health services, this is what I'm trying to do with my life. This is what I already do with my life. If you ask any of my friends, who should we call when we have a problem? They give me a call. I do problem solving. I help people with goal setting daily, all the time. I help people with finding motivation, finding purpose. I use a combination of things that I have learned myself through trial and error, through reading books, things that I've gotten through seeing a therapist myself at times, even though I don't currently see one. I've spent many years there. I've seen this practitioner before, and I have almost 10 years now of experience as a peer counselor. So I'm doing a lot of, especially upcoming in the month of December, is working on music and page. I'm going to be turning towards messages, for everybody, and there's going to be some that are for specific members. But I'm gearing this all towards assisting people getting through their mental health struggles. Um, for those who don't know what a peer specialist is, I actually have a whole video that I'm preparing about that. I already recorded it. It's just that I wasn't able to finish editing it, but I'm going to be putting that out soon, maybe even today. That explains that portion a little better. But this video was just a quick announcement to say that a lot of what I'm going to be doing in the upcoming months is going to be geared more towards my mental health messages because that is my original purpose. Once again, that doesn't mean that I am not doing TV show coverage. And as a matter of fact, I do have a couple of behind the scenes projects that, they're slow cooking. They're slow cooking, meaning I believe that they are going to happen. They're just not going to happen right now. But when you guys see those projects, it's going to be covering reality TV from a different angle that you've never seen before, which is generally what my stuff is. So that is what people, the type of feedback that people have given me is that my page is not the typical reality TV coverage page, and I've never aimed to be. I've never aimed to be. That's another thing I was going to say. I'm not really aiming to be different from other pages. I just know I'm different from other pages. They cover things in a different way, and I honestly don't have a goal to be the top reality TV blogger. And obviously, I'm far from that, anyways. It's not like I'm saying, "Oh, Mark, Rob has a podcast." We're side by side or anything like that. Obviously, I don't have the same kind of um, following, the same size of following as some of the other bigger platforms, but that is not necessarily my goal. If I sit here and think end goal, my end goal is not to cover reality TV for a living. Like to say I wake up every day, I'm covering The Bachelor, I'm covering um, Real Housewives, I'm covering Love Is Blind, I'm covering anything that's reality TV, I'm on it. I can't do that. The reason I can't do that is because there's only so much. There's only so much that I can consume. To be quite honest with you, it's not even just a matter of whether I like the show or I don't like the show. There's only so much I can consume. There was a time in 2020 before I started doing this page where the only reality TV show that I watched at all was The Challenge 2020. Yes, I do talk to you guys about my history when I was a teenager. Yes, I watched everything. I watched College Hill, The Real World. I watched I Love New York. I watched Baldwin Hills. I watched Flavor of Love. I Love New York. I Love Money. I watched all the VH1 shows, Tequila Tequila, Rock of Love, all these shows. I watched a whole bunch of them, but I kind of grew out of them. And then the only ones that I still liked watching were really the competition shows, but not the competition shows like competing for love type of shows. The for money, those are the ones that kind of stuck with me a little bit. I've expanded my horizons lately due to my group that follow me on YouTube. They've suggested, hey, watch this. Uh, myself doing full time, like this is what I'm doing all the time. In an ideal world, the majority of what I would be doing, or I'm not even going to speak as if it's not going to happen. The majority of what I will be doing is assisting people getting through their mental health struggles in life and finding motivation and purpose. That's my main thing. That's my main squeeze. And the reality TV coverage is something that I will continue to do on the side. So that's ultimately my announcement. It's not a big thing, but the reason I'm even taking the time to get on here and say this is because I always said I lead this page with transparency, and I don't want anyone to feel surprised and say, wait a minute, he's doing so much TV coverage, and now the TV coverage is lightening up. I mean, I have actually mentioned this at the beginning of the season. I said that this was exactly what I was going to do, but I don't expect anyone to remember that because y'all are just watching the page. What's up, Ben? Who? Yes, I'm streaming to both channels. Voice is cutting out. I wonder if oh, I wonder if my mic that I'm using is not working right now. Because I also was trying to test out the mic and see if the mic was working well. They said it was in the beginning, but I don't know. I'm also on the move, so the reception probably isn't that stable. Oh, before I go, I want to speak just a little bit more about my posts that you've been seeing me put up regarding my peer coaching. That's also another term for peer counseling. Peer counseling is a little bit like mentorship. It's not the same thing as going to a psychiatrist or a psychologist and getting a behavioral health diagnosis and then getting some psychotherapy tools, cognitive behavioral therapy or DBT, or having a treatment plan. It's not like that. That is its whole separate lane. And if you have some kind of a serious mental health issue, I would say that that would be what I would recommend that you see first. That would be who I would recommend that you see first. A psychotherapist or a psychiatrist, a nurse practitioner, whichever one of those suits you, just kind of look it up and see what you need. Mine is more along the side of emotional support and also mentorship. That's what I would say is the difference. So if your need is bigger than that, this is not you the my own personal life experiences. Um, I am a specialist, especially when it comes to digging yourself out of deep, dark parts of your life where you're struggling to find motivation, where you're struggling to find hope. I'm offering a variety of different packages for that. When you see that I added text messaging, I did mention at one time before Talkspace, how I utilized Talkspace through my job, and I did text therapy briefly, and I didn't find that that worked for me. But the reason why that didn't work for me, or one of the reasons why that didn't work for me, is because the text therapy was really generic and impersonal. So in my case, what I'm offering with my text message package is that you pay your one-time monthly fee, because I'm only offering one fee. It doesn't even make sense for me to do it weekly. And from Monday to Friday business hours, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, you can shoot me whatever messages on what you need, and we can problem solve that way. You'll go through the same intake process where I send you a couple of forms, um, assessment forms, and you fill those out, and we kind of go through there. From there, with the text message, there are phone options where we can meet on the phone, once a week, once a month, depending on what you want to do. There's also going to be some group options. And I can assure you, this is something that I have been doing for 10 years. This is something that I did 1 to 2 years on my own, but I've been doing it 8 years plus for different organizations. And I go and I do these mental health speeches. I go and I do these mental health talks at various places. I've done many of them, especially over the last 5, 6 years. And then they ask me, Mark, I love what you're saying here, and I could use this service for my son, or I could use this service for my daughter. I could use this for myself. How can I get in contact with you to assist me with this? And the answer that I always have to give is I work for such and such company, and it's possible that you can reach out to them through your insurance plan, but there's no guarantee that you're going to specifically get me or that they're going to improve you. It depends on how many slots that they have available, and it depends on if they actually decide to give you to me, or if they look at my caseload and they say, okay, this person needs more cases, so you're going to go to them. There was no way that I could guarantee that those people were going to get assistance specifically from me. So now I'm doing this on my own. And if you sign up, we will work together on whatever issue that it is that is most prevalent for you, step by step, weekly goal setting, accountability calls, emails. I'm excited to get started. And I want to thank you all for your time. I want to thank all of you for your support. And yeah, tonight I'm going to be jumping on probably later tonight. What I want to do tonight is a Squid Games versus Squid Games the Challenge comparison, because now I've seen the Squid Games in its entirety and I can accurately compare it to Squid Games the Challenge. Uh, Thank you all for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Talk to y'all soon.